Hey guys, it's a movie and TV show review guy here once again. So welcome back to a brand new movie review my channel. So today I'm here revealing The Curse of Bridge Hollow from 2022. This film takes place in Bridge Hollow, a cursed town about a past of Stinky Jack, a pumpkin warlord jack-o'-lantern who ruled the town of Bridge Hollow until he was trapped back in the lantern. Yes, so this movie takes place in Bridge Hollow. So now let's get into the plot of the film without getting too much further away. So the movie begins when when we meet Sydney and her family. Sydney is the main character of the film, and so Sydney is not very happy about moving. Of course, her mom and her dad are very happy about moving, but of course it's real that her dad, Sydney's father, does not really like Halloween. He's really scared of all the Halloween stuff, and he's very skeptical about ghost demons and goblins and that stuff. He doesn't really believe in that stuff. He doesn't really believe in that kind of stuff. And they move to this new house. And people believe that the house that they move into belongs to Miss Hawthorne. Miss Hawthorne. Yes, that woman. And then they meet the new neighbor. And then later in the house, they're unfolding boxes, and that's so. And then they used to live in an apartment. They used to live in an apartment. It's not real. So the next day they head in town, and then the mayor greets them. She tells them about the old story of Stinky Jack, and of course her father is very skeptical about this. Her father does not really believe about this. So Sydney heads in town, and then she heads to the cemetery and she meets some new friends, which they tell her about the old story of Hawthorne. Which so the house that she moved into belongs to Hawthorne. So later during the night, she uses an Obia board game to start investigating the house if the house is haunted or not. So when she discovered this, she tells to her parents that the house is haunted because her father does not believe her about this, and of course he's very skeptical about this. Her dad's very skeptical about this. So then, the next day, Sydney heads to school with her dad. Her dad becomes a teacher in science exam, scientific experiment. Oh. Very skeptical about this. So then when he sees skeletons, it's revealed that her father, is very scared of skeletons. So let's reveal that their mom works in a bakery shop and that she makes food for her customers. Her mom's very nice, but her dad is very strict. That's right, her dad, that's right, her father, that's right, her father is very strict, that's right. And so then she buys a witch costume from the store, and then when she arrives home, when her father arrives home, he sees a lantern on the table. Then he comes with a witch costume. Start having an argument about Halloween, about science and that stuff. So Cindy lights a candle, and then some red magic stuff begins happening, and then this vampire bat begins coming out. And it comes to life. So her dad thinks that it's all part of her career and that stuff. Thinks it's part of her career and that stuff. Her dad thinks it's some bat in an old cave, but Sydney knows that it's not. Of course, Sydney believes in the story of Stinky Jack. That's right. So now in town, the Halloween decorations begin coming to life. So Sydney and her dad come outside, and then their neighbor is being attacked. Their neighbor, who's the sheriff in town, he begins getting attacked by zombies by his decorations, and so her dad think it's some special effects and that stuff, but of course Sydney knows that it's not. And then the sheriff tells them that a young woman named Victoria will tell them about the story of Stinky Jack. So then when they went to this house, to this restaurant, this woman named Victoria tells them the past about her childhood, and when she saw her family using a magic ritual to bring Stinky Jack back to life. So Stinky Jack is a guy who's like a pumpkin overlord who tried to take over the town of Bridge Hollow. A Bridge Hollow, and then her mom stopped her and put her back into the lantern. Now in the restaurant, they see this Halloween decorations, and her dad thinks that her father thinks that it's people in costumes and that stuff. But of course, Sydney knows that it's not, that it's real. So he fights spiders with spray paint and that stuff. Spray paint. This gigantic spider, like the Charlie Ed movie, comes to life. Like the Charlie, it comes to life. Yeah. How did you? I'm. Where's? Yeah. Yeah. How did you? And so then they head to school. They meet up with their friends, where they know that Stinky Jack is Stinky Jack is there, and that they need to use a spell book and learn how to stop Jack. And so then now the clown decorations, they begin coming to life, and so then they head into like the fun house where the clown costumes the clown decorations, they all begin to come to life, and of course her father thinks that the people are like actors, and then this is the first time that her dad finally realizes that this is not actually an act. All this is actually happening. It's actually happening. Now the clowns chase them outside the school. And so then they head to the principal's house where they ask him for help in order to stop Stinky Jack, and he tells them that he has a spell book to stop him. And then the skeletons come, and then finally, this is the first time when her dad finally becomes brave because after his daughter encouraged him to face his fears from the past, he begins to face his fears until he finds the skeletons with chainsaws. So in town, they're having this Halloween carnival, and as they're doing this performance about Stinky Jack, that's right. And so now in town, all the Halloween decorations begin coming to life, and that they're heading to the carnival. They're heading to the carnival and stuff. And so they head to the cemetery, they bring Hoffman back to life for her father's soul. And Hoffman tells them they need to use the same spell that she used to trap Stinky Jack's spirit back into the lantern. And so when her dad comes back to life, they're gonna stop Stinky Jack. And then at the carnival, all the Halloween decorations come. And then they realize that Stinky Jack is creating an army. He's spawning an army. And then they realize that they need to stop Stinky Jack at midnight, or Halloween will be forever. And now Cindy and her father are arriving home because they realize that they had left the lantern back at the house. That's right. Cause their mom's home, and then the mom is being attacked by Stinky Jack. By Stinky Jack, that's right, the pumpkin and that stuff. So that when Cindy and her father arrive home, they stop Stinky Jack by enchanting a spell which sends him back to the underworld. That's right, and they trap him back in the lantern. And then that's it, everything's back to normal. And then the next day, Cindy and her family and her friends are hanging out back home. And so now so later in the attic, Cindy and her father agreed that they plan to never release Stinky Jack again. That they will just leave him back in the lantern. Back in the box that she found. So that's the end of the movie. So that's the recap of the plot of the movie. So now I'm gonna do a movie review, The Curse of Bridge Hollow from 2022. So I thought this was a pretty good movie. I love that the movie takes place on Halloween, that it takes place on a cursed town with a cursed legend called Stinky Jack. That's right. Always. Alright. And I liked all the characters in the movie. Yeah, Sydney is a very cool character. I also like how her father changes throughout the story. So her father was like a very strict father. Like, I didn't believe in paranormal and all that stuff, and then later in the movie he did. So later in the movie, he actually changed. That's right, because a long time ago, he used to be scared of skeletons, and then he actually faced them. Also, I like Stinky Jack, the main villain in the movie. And also like the backstory with Stinky Jack and Victoria. That's right, like a backstory with her family, and that they put Stinky Jack back into like the lantern. That's right, into like the lantern. Back into the lantern, and then wait, what are you? I feel like the story of the movie was so cool. You have That's about the songs in the movie were so cool. The songs in it were so nice. I also thought that the soundtrack of the movie was really awesome. I also like how all the Halloween decorations were coming to life in the movie. The Halloween decorations were coming to life. Were coming to life in the movie, and also like how the movie took place in like in Halloween and that stuff, like in a carnival, like in town, and cemetery. It's so really cool, man. Oh, that's also thought the science and locations of the movie were so awesome and so nice. Yeah. Yeah. That's for the CGI in the movie was so awesome and so cool. That's why the structure of the movie was so amazing. That's why the pacing of the movie was so nice. And I also thought the steaming in the movie was so awesome. I also thought a lot of the action scenes in the movie were so nice. Wait. I also felt like the climax battle with Stinky Jack and it was so cool. The climax battle. Also, that's right. I also thought the special effects in the movie were so cool. But the visual of the movie was so nice. I also thought the editing in the movie was so awesome. And I also thought that the climax in it was so cool. And I thought the end of the movie was so like phenomenal and so creative. So that's my movie review on The Curse of Bridge Hollow in 2022. So that's why I'm gonna have to give this movie an S plus. It's a really good movie. Well, that's my movie review on The Curse of Bridge Hollow. So don't forget to like and comment and share and just subscribe to my channel. So I'll be seeing you guys next time and take care, everyone. See you soon.